you all do not have as many job opportunities as I have candidates. Like that's just, there's no way possible.
Hackerproof HQ, another episode, and today we are with someone who's also part of the event we are doing, Nate Wylie. I said that last name correct, right?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, Nate, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself so we can just pick your brain and see what's up.
So my name is Nate Wylie, founder, owner, operator of Infinite Talent. So what we do is work with different founders and startups and really some mid-sized companies as well, but help them find like niche talent. So people usually come to me when they've exhausted their efforts of trying to source their networks and stuff like that. And so I go out and find some specialized skill sets for their startups usually.
Okay. And how did you get into that?
I've been recruiting now for, I started in like 2011.
Wow.
So I've been doing it for quite a while, just in, different companies, different size organizations in different industries as well. And then a couple of years ago, I went out on my own and I started consulting.
Okay. And consulting for talent acquisition, how's that different from working in an organization? Like, I know when you're working with an organization, you get a pool of candidates and you have to maybe pass it to the hiring manager. But when you're doing it as a consultant, how does that work?
It's really the only difference is I'm not on one particular company's payroll, but even in-house recruiters do sourcing as well. So it depends on the difficulty level of the job and also as far as kind of how that company is doing. So I've worked for some organizations where we would get great talent inbound. So we wouldn't have to do a ton of sourcing. And then I've worked for some organizations where no one knew who we were, so we would have to reach out and be proactive. But what I do as a consultant, and the reason I kind of went out on my own, I kind of get to carve out just the recruiting part and not have to do like all the special projects and play the politics game. Like all all the little sometimes fluffy stuff and we gonna roll out this or we gonna do that and who wants to volunteer for this. And so I kind of got burnt out with all that kind of stuff and just wanted to focus on the recruiting and it pays well.
So, when you first started into where you are now, was there any kind of like setbacks or do you have like feelings that, okay, this won't work? Because again, someone going out working for an organization, doing your W-2, making your W-2 money and going out to the field yourself and saying, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do it myself. I want to make as much money as possible. Man, you laughed, but.
No, because it's an everyday crash. Like for real, like every day is, I'm not gonna say every day because I have some good days. Yeah, I have some good days, but a lot of days because you can let a whole week go by and really don't feel like you move the needle, and so you just have to kind of reset and refocus and kind of wake up the next day, and it could be Saturday. Like I woke up on some Saturday mornings like, hey, I'm disappointed in myself with what I got accomplished. Like I need to do something to feel accomplished. But setbacks, especially in recruiting. So the thing about recruiting, I tell folks is I'm dealing with people on every side, right? And so I don't have a ton of control over what any one person does in the process. Like I'm kind of, a project manager in a sense. So I may find a great candidate for a role and then the hiring manager be like, yeah, they good, but
I don't want
to. But they missing this. And so like, go find me somebody else. And so, all right, cool. I go find somebody that they like. And then the person be like, I don't think I like the founder. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, damn, like what do I do? Right. And so like, I'm just constantly being the go-between. And so those setbacks usually come from when I put in like weeks and weeks of a search when we get to an offer and then the person declined the offer.
I have a question for you. You mentioned something very important, the search, right? What platforms are you using to search for talents?
Candidates.
Right. So I'm still very heavy in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is kind of the go-to. Even when I have like 2 other sourcing tools that I use that are kind of like more AI based.
You want to name plug? Because this kind of do good. What are the 2 tools?
So I'm using MetaView, their sourcing tool, and then I'm also using a tool called Pen.
Okay.
So they're actually pretty good at sort of digesting all the information that I feed it, as far as like how to kind of tailor the candidate profile.
Okay.
And so it goes a lot deeper for those two tools versus what LinkedIn Recruiter can do, which is really just like a lot of keywords and a lot of filters. MetaView specifically, I'm able to, it thinks almost the same way Claude does. And so like I'm able to update my search as I go. And it's as simple as like dropping in, copy and pasting information from like a Slack channel with the hiring manager of saying like, hey, Nate, I like this person, but I spoke with them. They didn't have this, and this, or I didn't like the way they, presented this information, whatever it may be. I can copy and paste it and drop that into MetaView, and MetaView will like synthesize that and rerun the search based on the feedback from the hiring manager.
Where does MetaView getting those people from? Are people signed up in the platform?
So that's the point. So even when I use MetaView, I'm still like clicking the like LinkedIn icon and going to LinkedIn. So they give you the option if they have like a public email address, you can send them an email, but I'm usually still sending like LinkedIn messages to a lot of these folks. So that's why I say LinkedIn is kind of, LinkedIn has done a great job of like cornering the market. Like there's nothing
Like it.
right. Yeah. OpenAI say they're gonna come out with something. I want to see it. Like I'm sure it'll be great given where technology is now. But LinkedIn, I kind of have like a love and hate relationship with them because I love the platform for what it does. Right. It's like, I can't remember, but it's like hundreds of millions of people globally on the platform. So like where else can you go to sort of be able to kind of, find customers, find candidates, find like everything is on there. But at the same time, but they be taxing on the back end for LinkedIn Recruiter, like what I use, because I'm able to search like at a deeper level than somebody who's just using the platform, on his face. And then also I don't feel like they've invested enough in the platform for the money they make off of it. Like it could be a lot more user friendly.
So I think a lot of people have, candidates have their experience from the applying side, but what is your experience? Like what happened on your side of the hiring table that candidate don't really get to see? Because again, usually when a candidate apply, they're waiting for feedback from either the hiring manager or the talent acquisition specialist like you or the leader like you. Like what is happening on your end once you get those applications? I know you're getting tons of applications from candidate. How are you sourcing the applications? What is happening on your end too?
Yeah, it's really simple, honestly. Like I think, and to kind of take a step back, so that's what got me into recruiting. Like I wanted to know that very question. Like I graduated college and I'm submitting all these applications because we were sold on you get your degree. Right, like people can't wait to throw you money. That shit was and so like
maybe pre-COVID was like that or early COVID.
Even before COVID it was still like that, bro. Like,
this was back in the day. Like I'm old, so this was back in the day. Like this was this was way before COVID and all that kind of stuff became a thing. Like we just thought a degree meant right, like you at least be getting interviews and stuff like that. And so I really was curious about what's happening on the other side. And so even now, like what happens is you submit your application into an ATS system, which is
application tracking.
Yep, it's basically just a database for us to kind of post our jobs and then organize the inbound talent as well. Like we can schedule interviews, keep scorecards, make notes. We're in there usually like tagging other recruiters, tagging hiring team members, like, hey, look at this, look at that, whatever. And so it's kind of just like a centralized place for us to communicate about all things hiring. What matters to a candidate is really just us kind of scanning those resumes to see, is this person a potential fit for the role? Now, a lot of applicant tracking systems right now, especially some of the more newer ones, are very AI based. And it's one of those things where I feel like candidates
using AI to mass apply.
That's what I'm saying. Like
AI to screen. What is happening?
And you gotta use AI in your job today anyway. Like every role I'm looking at right now, or I'm looking to fill right now, there's some aspect of AI. Like even if they're not looking for an AI engineer per se, but they want to know that you use AI in a way to like automate your own personal work, right? Like because they know that's the future, right? They don't want someone coming in that's doing, kind of a more traditional, old school way of doing things. So it's one of those things where, of course, especially a system like that, that's actually a very easy task for AI to do. Even though my shop is kind of a little bit non-traditional, but I can use AI now to where like I can dump a bunch of resumes in my Claude and it'll rank them for me and tell me like why people are
that leads me to my next question. Do you think AI with candidates using AI and recruiters using AI for screening has ruined the job market?
Nah, I don't think so. I think on one side of it, on the recruiter side of it, and I am biased, like I'm able to move faster, right? Like I'm able to kind of get through a lot more candidates because, so let's just say, for example, high level. So let's just say I got 50 candidates that apply for a role, and I'm able to plug my Claude into whatever database. It could be a Google sheet, whatever is using to read that information. And so it reads all these documents and it gives me like, hey, Nate, here's your top 10 candidates based on, the criteria. Whatever.
Before you do it manually, right? Before you do it manually.
Right. Because, and then.
On your end is helping, but I'm saying on the candidate side, because all resumes now could look good. Right.
But what I'm saying is, the AI Claude is kind of telling me like, hey, I read all 50. These are the top 10. So let's just say number 6 out of that top 10 applied, let's say number 34 or something like that. I'm tired. So I read the first 25. You know what I'm saying? Like I read the first 25 and I took the strongs out of those first 25.
Okay.
I sent out invites to screens to those individuals.
Okay.
And let's just say of that first 25, I sent out screening invites for 7 or 8 of them. Out of those 7 or 8, I felt like 3 were strong. I sent those 3 on to the team, and then let's say one of those people get hired. So somebody who was in the top 10 didn't even get reviewed because I found somebody out of the first 25. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you might be number 1, but you don't get reviewed.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what happens
sometimes. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Right. And that's what happens a lot of times when candidates like, oh, like I know I was a perfect fit for this job. I didn't even get a call. I didn't get an interview. You might have been candidate number 162. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get that far. And so that's why I think candidates need to kind of change their mindset. AI is actually helping us figure out who is the best, who applied for this role. So now, like, I can hit a button and it may take a while, but AI can actually go through all 200 candidates and bubble up the actual people I should be reaching out to, whether they apply first or they apply last.
Okay, so in that process where you might be a good fit, but you're not selected, how can candidates do more to get visibility?
It's really just a volume game. Okay. So what they can do more.
Gotta say that again. It's a volume game.
It is. It's a volume game because the example I just gave, in addition to the competition, and also just kind of like the job market that we're in right now. And so I think it's one of those things where I know how frustrating it can be, but it's almost like you can't take a couple of shots and then think like, okay, like one of these got to land. And then when I hear people say like, oh, I applied to 100, I applied to 200. If you ain't got the job yet, then you need to apply to another 100. Like it's just like there's no, there is no kind of like finish line until you get the role. You get what I'm saying? And so I think again, like I hate it. I'm not trying to say this as like trying to be cold about it. I am numb to it because I've been recruiting for so long, but at the same time, you're the one that needs the job. Like you need the paycheck, right? Like, and I'll keep saying this forever. Like companies were not created to employ people. Like that wasn't the goal, right? I think you might hear a certain talking point around that where, especially when you think about manufacturing, there's like, oh, we're going to build this plant that's going to bring 2,000 jobs. That's only because it takes 2,000 jobs for that plant to operate.
Yeah.
If they could do it with 500, they'll do it with 500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they don't want to just pay people just to be paying people. If they open a job, it's because we have a need and we need some work done. And so I think, again, I understand people get frustrated with the concept of it, and especially like with layoffs and all that kind of stuff. But a company is there to make money.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
one of the easiest ways for them to make money is to cut costs.
And that's
The biggest cost is payroll.
Yeah.
So that's just the simple formula to it, and that's just why companies operate the way they do.
With the new hiring system, a lot of people feel that entry-level jobs are no longer existent. How do you feel about that?
They're definitely decreasing and shrinking, and it's hitting them from two different ways. And so you can have like a new grad or someone entry-level talent. One, those jobs are being automated in a way, whether it's AI itself or whether there's like more of a like a suite product that's able to kind of lump in whatever that work was and be able to kind of get rid of the need for a person actually doing that manually.
Yeah.
Or the other way is, now that there are so many layoffs and the job market is so tough, people that may have been, mid-level manager or, an associate level are having to accept more entry-level roles, right, at that pay rate.
Yeah.
And so, again, from a company standpoint, I really only need somebody who, 2 to 3 years experience doing this job, but I got this person who's been out of work for 6-7 months who has 7 years of experience and willing to take this pay. Well, shoot, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So the whole
Much harder.
market is screwed. So what does college grad and young professional who are trying to break into tech, are you a tech recruiter, right, also? Or just, are you...
I'm a generalist across startups.
Okay.
So I, whether it's go-to-market, engineering, product, sales, I kind of feel.
What is a realistic path now for someone who's an entry level trying to get into corporate work?
I mean, there still is a pathway. Those opportunities are definitely going to go to the more so like the cream of the crop. What I'm saying, even coming out of college, I mean, we've all known people who seem to excel.
Yeah.
And so those are the individuals who are going to still get the good looks. And then those are usually the people who they did the internships. They've been doing the networking.
Since day one, since they got on campus.
Right. They kind of knew what they were there for. And what we hear most right now, and the chatter that we hear, and I'm just being honest, are from the people who, like how I was, I got a degree, like where my job at? You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that one internship. I didn't even think about applying for jobs until I graduated. You know what I'm saying? So those are the people who are pissed off, right? It's like, damn, like I ain't got nothing going for myself. I ain't got no motion. And then even the more tenured career professionals, those are also the people kind of screaming the loudest, the ones who didn't network, the ones who kind of, I just want to keep my head down and do my job. You know what I'm saying? And so now those people are kind of being pushed to the side.
That's true.
And then the people who have been very intentional about their career and networking and upskilling and all that kind of stuff, they not crying as hard because they was like, I know I have value. I know, I've always taken the call from the recruiter. I've always gone to the happy hours and the networking events, and I know people who moving in different spaces. And so you're just seeing like that gap being created between the people who's kind of been taking it seriously.
The gap is growing fast too.
Oh yeah.
Every day with AI integrating, new things are coming out of AI every day that is
Every single day.
killing industries.
That shit overwhelming. Like, I mean, it's a lot. Like, I love it. I really do. I love it a lot because it's like an equalizer, right? Like when I started my business was like just when ChatGPT had kind of got popular. And I got on there, and then I remember I had just started with this startup as their head of talent. And so they didn't have nothing. It was like blank space. And so I, created processes and playbooks and JDs and all that. Like, I mean, that shit was just, I was like, oh, damn. Like, and then like, I'm looking like a superstar. Like, like I done put together interview kits and all this kind of stuff. And so I had before I went out on my own, like there was a whole team that created that kind of stuff. And so for me to be able to do that on my own, it was like, I love this. And I just think people kind of need to lean more into it and figure out how they can leverage it versus being so resistant to it and saying like, I hate it.
I think there's two sets of people that use AI to do their job and people that think AI is going to take their job. And the people that think AI is going to take their job, they're scared to try AI and they're kind of like falling back in their career. People that are using AI to do their job and using different skills, create different skills, agentic AIs, those are the people actually excelling.
Thanks.
Yeah. I got another question, but I'll let Wale talk because Wale has just been listening.
No. I've been listening. So, I do deal in the training space as well. So for people, like you mentioned, right, using AI and like mass application, is there a specific advice you want to give people as far as, okay, how do you mass apply? Just do a manual application? Is there different tools like we're using mass apply and stuff like that?
So there are some tools out there that you can do, like mass applications. I want to be honest. I haven't applied for a job in years, so I honestly don't know. I haven't played around with that. I've seen them. I've like saved some of the things I've seen on LinkedIn, but I think it's just kind of as simple as being able to upload your resume, and it's finding those positions and then being able to kind of just hit buttons to send your resume over. Now, certain companies I know have like certain kind of like security features set up because there is a growing issue of like just fake candidates altogether, especially abroad. And so like they're trying to weed out like some of that as well, because there have been times back when I was reviewing resumes with this one fractional opportunity I had like a year or so ago, and I was going through resumes and literally it was like 6 or 7 resumes in there that looked exactly the same for like an engineer. And you could tell like, all right, like ain't no way. And I mean like literally like verbatim. I was like, damn, man. So it just go to show you, how, both sides are trying to kind of outsmart the other in that kind of way. My thing with the whole mass apply issue is, and I get it, it's you want to find the least path of resistance to get to where you're trying to go. But I do think there is value in not just necessarily spending a ton of time on one application, but as you're reading these job descriptions, you're learning something as well, right? Like you're kind of, like you're figuring out ways to reposition yourself. I love going down a good rabbit hole, right? Like I might see a position that I think aligns with what I want to do. I click on the position and then, okay, like I like what this is saying. Then I click on the company. I look into the company and then I click on the people. I'm looking at who all work there and then I go into this person and then I see they worked it. You know what I'm saying? So
it's
like
a good way to actually go about looking for a job.
Right. And so now like I've gained so much more knowledge about this stuff. And I think that's something that a lot of job seekers can do is do that. Like go down that rabbit hole.
Find the hiring manager.
Find the hiring manager and then also find people who may have a similar role as yours and kind of see where they've worked, right? And so like your job might be the one they left, you know what I'm saying? And so like like go to that company and then see like, okay, like shoot, like I kind of like this company too. And then that way you start to find kind of those correlations between what I do and what somebody else does.
I got a question, and we're getting closer to that 30-minute mark, but what's the most common mistake you see that cost someone a job from your time of experience? What have you seen that cost someone a job after like almost getting to the offer and getting the offer? One
of the biggest issues that costs people a job when they're nearing an offer. So when you're nearing an offer, usually we're convinced that you can do this job from a technical standpoint. At that point, we're kind of evaluating, your mindset, your personality. And I'm gonna be weird. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Being weird can get you rejected. Like when like you're just the way you communicate and the way you kind of are navigating the whole situation. Like if you coming off like real abrasive, like I done had some candidates sometime, just get so assertive. Like when are y'all gonna make a decision? But like it's like dog, like you don't want to look for a job,
right?
It's like and And another part of that is you have to realize sometimes like who has the leverage in the situation. And so walking into any sort of hiring process, there are candidates who I know from jump, okay, like this person has the leverage. They're not really looking. They know they can do the job. They've already done it. They're successful. They've been at like 2 or 3 starters. They probably got equity, built up, all of that. So they kind of are in that mindset of, hey, like I know what I can do. Like y'all need to do more of the selling. Like why should I bring my talents to you? And then there are, the more common way of a hiring process goes is the company has to leverage. We know you're looking for a job, you need a step up, you're looking for a boost and all that kind of stuff. And usually that's when, a company has the ability to make candidates jump through hoops and stuff like that, right? All the extra assignments, and we want you to meet with this person, this person, this person, because the company know they have the leverage. As a recruiter, it's my place to try to make sure I'm sort of putting my hand on the process to be like, okay, we've done enough of this person. Either you like them or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, you kind of are just kind of being an asshole, right? Like you're just making them do all this extra stuff because you feel like you can. And then it's also, I can do it the other way and be like, hey, I don't think we're going to find another person at this level anytime soon. And so like it's up to you now, Mr. or Miss Hiring Manager. Do we want to, lose this person because we're taking too long, we're doing too much, all that kind of stuff? Because I can tell you now, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to find somebody of this caliber, within another week or two. It's probably going to take us another month or two. Can you wait that long? And so that's kind of where a recruiter steps in to try to make sure I'm bringing some sort of logic to this madness that may be going on both sides.
I got this one. The candidates, people who are applying for jobs and getting ghosted would like this one. Why do recruiters ghost candidates?
I've been ghosted before.
That was ghosting. The ghosting. You hear from a candidate, they will seem excited. A recruiter reach out to you.
I like your profile.
Excited to hire you. You have gone through everything. They were communicating every round. Then now it's time to ask, where's the job? And they just ghost you.
Now, one thing I can say, and as a recruiter, like I said, I've been recruiting for a long time. So I have ghosted people. like I ain't gonna lie. Like I have.
You heard it here first.
I have. And that's why when I'm on these panels and that question I always get asked, like, I get quiet. I was like, but it's not intentional. I can't say that. It's not intentional, nor is it personal. Honestly, most of the time, like we just forget. Like we literally just forget. Like you got to think. So. It's the difference of angles and what side of the table you're sitting on, right? Like you all do not have as many job opportunities as I have candidates. Like that's just, there's no way possible, right? So if I'm juggling easily, 50 to 75 candidates, like somebody, and then what I do is like my effort and energy are probably going towards the ones that are
showing potential,
doing better in the process. The hiring manager likes them. Everything is kind of lining up. And I've said it before. It's like if you got ghosted, like just take that as the no. Like you don't get mad about it. That was just
That was like a girl not texting you back and you keep texting the girl.
Like she telling you, but
it's a no dog.
But one thing I can say that candidates don't do either. Candidates don't follow up either. Really? Now one thing I won't do, if you send me an email saying like, hey Nate, we spoke, last week or whatever, just wanted to know if there's a status update or whatever, I'm going to let you know. Because now it's like, okay, you communicating back. It's when sometimes we get off the call, I may send your profile over to the team. They sit on it. They don't say anything. And then like a week and a half goes by and they come back like, yeah, not a fit. And then I've just moved on to something else. Like that's usually what happens is it's just kind of like just oversight. And then what I try to do is I'll go back and kind of, reconcile my candidates. And it may be late, but I'll send something out, hey, unfortunately, whatever. But it's really damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like I don't do it. People done got mad at me because like, oh, just a generic no. It's like, bro, what? We had one call. Calm down. And so and then like they want specific feedback and all that kind of stuff. And what I do want to avoid is like I can't I can't get into like a whole back and forth, which you know what I'm saying, because I'm already, again, like I'm talking like 50 to 75 people at a time across all these different roles, and so like I'm trying to, you know, be as efficient as possible. And if I give you feedback and I say, hey, this didn't work out, stay in touch, I'll let you know. So yeah, so being active on LinkedIn is something that a recruiter will take notice of. Specifically, like if they are a niche recruiter, so if they hire for like one specific type of role, right? And so they're usually, your LinkedIn feed should almost be like your IG algorithm. Like the things you engage with, interact with, like that's the stuff that keeps coming up. So mine is like, you know, full of talent acquisition stuff. Like all the ads for different systems, all the recruiter networks, people who's hiring, all that kind of stuff, because that's what I'm always engaging in, interacting in.
That's a good point.
And so that's how somebody else's, you know, if you're an engineer, it should be a bunch of engineering stuff. If you're in product, it should be a bunch of product. Entrepreneurs, you know, leadership, all that kind of stuff should be popping up on your LinkedIn feed. And what happens is the recruiters are usually also, you know, tracking or keeping up with a very similar type of algorithm. And so if they're constantly seeing Wale names pop up with, you know, you giving your hot take on this thing, or you posted about a new project that you're a part of and all that kind of stuff, like I can start to follow you, and I can make sure that I'm liking your stuff. And the more I engage with your stuff, the more you're going to show up on my algorithm. And so that's why people should be active on LinkedIn, because you will be surfaced more if you're active on there. Like it rewards you for that. If you're just on there peeping and you're not doing nothing, you're hidden, right? Like you're not going to be popping up like that. And you may not have your LinkedIn profile optimized in a way to where I would even see you if I was searching for what you do. That's a good point. And what happens is usually the people who are good at what they do have like the weakest LinkedIn profiles because they're not looking.
Like me,
right.
my LinkedIn is not that part.
Right. But you may be on there actively talking and engaging, and you know, by your posts, by your engagement, by your comments, I can tell you know what you're talking about. Or stuff like this, like you being reposted saying that you was on this podcast or you speaking on this panel. Okay, like clearly this person has a skill set and is knowledgeable about it. So that person is going to stand out more to me than, you know, the person who's kind of ducked off in a corner and ain't really talking about anything.
I got one thing. This is out of topic, and we get close to the end. Are you going to invite your recruiting friends tomorrow?
Like the ones in Charlotte? Yeah, they can pull up.
Yeah, pull up. Pull up, recruiters. Pull up.
We need you.
But the thing about, so one reason recruiters don't go out like that to a lot of different stuff is because I think a common misconception is like, especially people walk up to me and like, I need a job. They're like, yo, I'm gonna pull out a deck of, you know, what you do? Like, what you do?
I got this job.
How much you looking for? And so a lot of recruiters don't go out like that unless it's something like a specific event where they feel like if it's like a sales happy hour and I hire for, you know, for AEs and stuff like that. Okay, like this makes sense, right? This is where I should be. But if it's just like a general gathering of people, sometimes like that's tough because usually they just, you know, like, all right, you know, let's connect on LinkedIn or let's stay in touch. And so
I think that usually when people go to the events, they don't go with the mindset of just getting to know the person and just seeing how can I support what you're doing. People usually go to events asking, how can I get a job? Can I get a job? I think if they have a different mindset and go in there just understanding who they're talking to and just seeing how can I support you, people will be more willing to even help you. So
the best thing someone can do when they're networking is honestly pretend like you don't need a job, honestly. I'm being dead ass serious. Like I'm telling you, like a recruiter can tell you like that's usually a first indicator to me if a person is kind of at that caliber of talent. Like if you walk up and you kind of seem like you lost in your own career, you don't really know where you're going or how to move or what to do, and you got a ton of questions. If I got the information to help you, I'm gonna share it. But I also know with what I do, like you're probably not a good fit for what I'm hiring for, right? Like like I said, I recruit for startups, usually bootstrap, pre-seed, Series A, Series B. And so like every hire is very critical and intentional. Like they need an operator, like they need somebody to come in and get it going. And so it's not like a lot of room that I have for people who are still like, I need some experience or I need to, get my foot in the door. Like this ain't the door. Like that ain't gonna work here. And the way you carry yourself really, shines through in the type of candidate that you are. And so when people are networking, they should definitely, I hate when people come up and they be like, oh, I just do this or I just do that, or I, try to go 1 or 2 levels deeper into what it is they actually do. And it seems like they don't really know their own function. It's just like, okay, that's my first piece of advice. Like you should know your ecosystem in a way to where like you can go deep in conversation with someone who operates in your space, and you should be able to break it down to me in simple terms as far as it is as well. And so when you meet people who kind of, you can tell like all you know how to do is your job. Like I don't even think you know what your company does. You know what I'm saying? It's like all you know is your job specifically, your day to day. And I think that's something people need. They need to be able to kind of
talk about what the company does.
Look up and know like who are the adjacent teams, and who do they partner with, who the stakeholders are, because your next position might not be on a specific team where you sit now. You know what I'm saying? There are some companies who get large enough to be like, let's just say in one company you might sit on an analytics team, right? That's all y'all do is y'all kind of like a shared service. Like y'all just support different departments and stuff like that. Your next opportunity may be with a much smaller organization, and they want you to, be the analyst for the entire company, right? And so they need you to understand how a company operates. Like they need to know that you've touched some finance and you've touched some marketing and you've touched some sales. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of know what all this data looks like. And so it's important to understand like at your company kind of how your role is scoped and sort of how far you can go as far as like who you're actually interacting with and what those stakeholders do as well.
Okay. I know we're getting close to the end. I want to leave it, maybe ask some questions on, maybe actually first thing first, maybe share with the public what you're working on, how they can support you, and just things that you want to bring out to the light that you haven't really talked about in a while, or talked about in the podcast.
Yeah, man. Just connect with me on LinkedIn, first of all, Nate Wylie. You can follow me on Instagram, Career Hacker Nate. I need to start doing more content on recruiting. I've been more in the event space. If you're in Charlotte, definitely support Workish.
What's the event?
Workish Social Room is every other Friday at Indigo Tea and Coffee, 644 North Church Street.
Let's go.
And then we also do a monthly networking mixer there as well. But if you follow me on Career Hacker Nate, you'll see all the flyers and the content and the videos and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely pull up on that.
The events, the events you be doing. Not the events, sorry, the social media stuff you be posting.
Yeah, man. Like I got a good video guy, man. He keeps me loaded up with photos and videos and stuff. So
let him come tomorrow. We need a video guy tomorrow.
we have a video guy.
Okay, good.
Last thing, also, any question you have for Hackerproof on what we do, how we've got here so far, because we all started from nowhere, and now we are doing events in Charlotte. And thank you also for want to be part of the panel. But any questions you have for our organization? One question, basically.
One question. So both of y'all, one question each for. It's the same question, but I want to know. Like, I love what y'all doing. Like I say, this is the type of spaces I like to operate in. But so personally, since we all come from corporate, sort of, what was the most pivotal moment in your career, whether it was something that a hard lesson learned or something that kind of moved you to that next level of understanding?
When I worked, you want to go first, Wale?
You go first. You started.
I got on my thoughts.
No. It's interesting, right? Okay, I have a finance degree. After college, I wanted to work on Wall Street.
Okay.
But I graduated during the economic downturn in 2010. There's not a lot of jobs out there. Like you said, you get a degree, you think you're gonna get a job. So a harsh reality set in, right? I did all kinds of jobs. I worked as a cashier at Walgreens, right? I did door-to-door salesman. So, and luckily I ended up working in a financial aid institution, right? Like helping people get financial aid for online university, right? So I had a friend that that got a job in IT.
Okay.
He said, Wale, you helped me when I first got to this country, and I was able to land this job, and I kind of self-study, and these are things that I self-study. So from there, he gave me all the materials that he did, and that changed my whole life. Now I'm here sitting on a podcast with Nate and Daniel talking about cybersecurity. I'm now working
cybersecurity.
I mean,
I understand.
but listen, but I'm now working for one of the top companies in the world.
Since you keep saying top, nah. I
can't really say too much about that, but
okay.
I'm in a position where I now train people to get into IT. Okay. I have a boot camp where I've helped over 250 people get into the tech space. And if you add all the salaries that all my students getting, it's close to like $10 million.
Damn.
So that's just a little story of what
could happen.
What happened when a friend kind of picks you up and kind of show you the ropes.
I think for me is making a pivot from engineer to a manager and in consulting too. I was doing engineering, senior engineer, cloud security engineer, doing good, making a good living. Then I took that step to do something else. I've been an engineer this whole time. I've never been a manager. I don't really know how being a manager is, but I had the opportunity to interview one of the big fours in consulting as a similar field, but just a manager level. I did it and I got it. Just being brave, being curious. I was able to, be in that position for over 3 years, just doing my thing, growing my knowledge, and kind of helped me start my own thing, which was Hackerproof. Just being able to learn from what it takes to be a manager at a consulting agency, and grew from there. And now I'm doing my own thing, speaking with Nate and Wale. The blessing comes when you take risks, take chances.
For sure.
And I think just that moment of just being able to job hop to something that I don't really have a clue on how to do, and being able to learn how to do it, just gave me the confidence to do whatever.
Nah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. Once you show yourself you can do something, it's easier the next time.
You almost don't have a limit. You just keep testing things and just see what you can't do, basically.
No, for sure.
But in that being said, really appreciate you, Nate, for being here today. Great conversation.
I learned a lot.
To drop.
I learned a lot.
Appreciate y'all.
I learned a lot too, and can't wait for tomorrow. So looking forward to seeing you speak. It's gonna be a great event. This is not gonna be out by tomorrow, so I can't really say register for the event. But make sure you subscribe, follow Nate on every platform that's available. Follow Wale, and peace. Hackerproof HQ.